Hi everybody. In this video we are going to discuss about seed viability. Seed viability. So what do you mean by seed viability? What do you mean by the word seed viability? It is the ability of a seed. Okay? It is the ability of a seed to germinate. Ability of a seed to germinate and produce the seedling. The ability of a seed to germinate and produce the seedling is called as the seed viability. So here this word is important for us. Because why it is important means if all the species will not have the same viability, means what? Same period of time. They will not maintain the same period of time to germinate and produce the seedling. So it varies, seed viability or viability varies from species to species. Varies from species to species. It varies. Means what? All the plant species which are bearing the seeds will not be having the same viability. Viability means what we said. It is the ability of a seed to germinate and produce the seedling. So it's like we can say it is the time period that it takes to germinate. It's the time period that a seed takes to germinate is called as viability. And we are saying that this viability varies from what? Species to species. There may be few seeds which will be losing the viability. Okay, there are few lose viability within few months. Okay, within few months they lose the viability. But whereas there are some plant seeds which will be having the viability about hundreds of years. They will be having the viability about hundreds of years. Means after many or after hundreds of years they will be germinating and producing the seedling. They will be having the ability to go into dormancy stage. There are few seeds which will be going into dormancy stage. So what is here dormancy? Here let us come across one word called as dormancy. Dormancy means what? A period of rest. Okay, a period of rest. So there are some seeds which will be in the dormancy stage. So after completing the dormancy stage or a period of rest, then they start germinating and produce the seedling. The best examples that we will quote here, there are two best examples that we should keep in mind. Okay, there are two best examples. One is of lupine. Okay, one is of lupine, which is called as Lupinus arcticus. Okay, the seeds of this plant, Lupinus arcticus, it is recorded that they are under about 10,000 years. They are under about 10,000 years in dormancy stage. And after 10,000 years being in dormancy stage, this particular plant seeds have been started to grow and bear the flowers. They will started to grow and bear the flowers. And this is one record that we have to keep in mind. Lupinus arcticus. Okay, Lupinus arcticus. The seeds of the plant Lupinus arcticus were there in dormancy stage for about 10,000 years. This we can call it as what? Seed viability. Seed viability means what? They are in 10,000 years in dormancy stage, and after that estimated record of 10,000 years, they started to bear the flowers and started to grow. This is very interesting. So all these 10,000 years, the seeds are in which stage now? Dormancy stage. And not only this, there is another example that we have to keep in mind, that is called as Phoenix. Okay, Phoenix dactylifera. It is a date palm. Okay, commonly called as date palm. Phoenix dactylifera. Okay, Phoenix dactylifera, date palm. We call it as in common date palm. And during the archaeological study, when they are excavating the King Herod's palace near Dead Sea, there is one king in the Bible. It is given King Herod. Okay, King Herod. Okay, King Herod's palace. When they are excavating the palace of King Herod, which is near Dead Sea. This is near Dead Sea. Okay, near Dead Sea, they found out that there are seeds. They found out seeds of Phoenix dactylifera, and at an estimated record of how many years? 2000 years, these seeds started to germinate and bear the flowers. So all these 2000 years, the Phoenix dactylifera seeds are in what? They are in dormancy stage. They are in dormancy stage. So this we are saying it as what? Seed viability. Seed viability. So here what we have to keep in mind with these two examples, lupine, Lupinus arcticus and Phoenix dactylifera, is that all the seeds will not be having the same dormancy or seed viability. They will not have the same seed viability. That's why in the very beginning we are saying it as what? Viability varies from species to species. Few seeds may lose the viability within few months, but there are some seeds which may be there for about 10,000 years, and after 10,000 years they start growing. And there are seeds even after 2,000 years they start growing. So all the 10,000 years or 2,000 years is nothing but they are in what stage now? They are in the dormancy stage. So that only we are calling it as seed viability. So this is, we are calling it as what? Seed viability. Seed viability. So now we are going to look at the significance or importance of seed. Significance or importance of seed. Here we have to keep one point in mind. A very important and a simple point that we have to keep in mind is that for sexual reproduction, for the process of sexual reproduction, which involves pollination and fertilization. Pollination and fertilization. These two are independent of water. Independent of water. But whereas seed formation is dependent. Whereas seed formation is dependent. Here we have to keep in mind, without the process of fertilization that is taking place in the sexual reproduction, seed formation will not be taking place. So here we have to remember, seed formation is dependable. Seed formation is dependable. So here, what is the importance of seed? What is the importance of seed? There is seed. Seeds, they have better adaptive strategies. Better adaptive strategies for dispersal. For dispersal means what? To move from one place to another place, they have better adaptive strategies, better adaptations, better modifications, so that they can move to a new place and colonize there. Okay, and they start growing up in that particular new region. New region. So that's why we say that seeds are having what? Better adaptive strategies for dispersal. Dispersal means it's a mode of carrying. Okay, the way they are carried to other places. So they have better adaptations, better modifications, by which they can be carried to other places and they can grow in that new place. They can colonize and grow in that new area. That is the first point. That is the importance of the seeds. Means here you have to remember adaptive strategies. For what purpose? For dispersal we are saying. And the next one is sufficient food reserves. Seed is having the sufficient food reserves. All the way we started that nucellus is having the food material which is absorbed into the endosperm. Endosperm nutritive tissue we said, and that nutritive tissue is being taken up or by the cotyledons, and now there are cotyledons present in the seed. So here sufficient food reserves are there present in the seed. So when a plant starts germinating and grows, immediately that plant seedling will not undergo photosynthesis process. So just before it has those cells which can synthesize their own food or which can undergo photosynthesis. Until then, the small seedling will be using those food reserves that are there until it can photosynthesize. Until it can prepare its own food, the seed when it germinates, it is having the stored food in the form of cotyledons. So it uses that food and starts growing, and later on the plant seedling will produce the leaves which are having the ability to undergo photosynthesis. So here seed is having what? Sufficient food reserves. so that the seedling germinates and develops before it can photosynthesize. That is one adaptation or one importance of the seed. And the seeds will be coming across various hazards, okay, various seasonal climatic conditions, due to which the seeds will be having what? Hard seed coat. So what is the function of this hard seed coat? It provides protection from the environmental conditions or from various types of animals. Different conditions or different animals, they may damage these seeds. So that's why the seeds are well protected. The seeds are well protected with what? With the help of the seed coat. So seeds are having the seed coat which provides what? Protection. And they cannot be easily destroyed. So the next one is they generate, the seeds are generating what? New genetic combinations means what? In simple, we can say the seed, because it is the product of what? Sexual reproduction, it is producing new genetic combinations. In simple, we can say that it is having variations, or it is bringing what? New characteristics, variations. It is carrying new characteristics. Variations are carried out by the seeds. So we have to remember that seeds generate new genetic combinations because it is the product of sexual reproduction, and in simple we can say that it is carrying the variations, new characteristics. And at the same time, please remember, seeds are the basis of what? Agriculture. Seeds are basis of agriculture. So we cannot just imagine agriculture without what? The seeds. Without seeds, there is no agriculture. So how these seeds will be used, or how it is possible in the process of agriculture? It's all because the seeds, if you are seeing dehydration and dormancy of mature seeds. We already said dehydration. Okay, a mature seed will have only about 10 to 15% of moisture by mass, we say. Water is completely lost, we are saying. It is having only 10 to 15% of moisture by mass in the seed. So the seed is dry, dehydrated, and it is in what stage we said? Dormancy, a period of rest. So every mature seed is dehydrated and it is in dormancy stage. That's why, these two are very important for what? For the crucial storage of the seeds. Because of how can we store the seeds? It is how we can store, or why we can store means it is because of what? The seeds are in dehydration and dormancy state. That's why we can store the seeds, which is a very crucial step in the process of what? Agriculture. Where because of these two characteristics that are shown by the seeds, it is possible for us to use the seeds in production of food year after year and season after season. It is possible. So we have to keep that in mind. It's because of dehydration and dormancy of mature seeds are crucial for storage of seeds, because we are producing or cultivating the food material year after year or the next season, because the seeds are in what condition? Dehydration and dormancy of mature seeds. And not only this, we have to remember, seeds means there are some fruits which will be having thousands of seeds. Within one fruit only, there may be thousands of seeds. It is not just one fruit having one seed. No. There may be thousands of seeds present within one fruit only. Here, fruits, fruits with many number of seeds. Let us say fruits with many number of seeds. Let us talk about. Always here, when we are talking about fruits with many thousands of seeds, let us say here we are using many. It can be from 2 to 1000. So thousands of seeds may be present within one fruit, and those seeds will be very, very small. And here, if you are talking about that, here the best example is ficus. The ficus. The fruit will be having thousands of seeds. Each seed can germinate into a new and big plant. And you know how big is this ficus plant. And here we have to remember that ficus will be having thousands of seeds present. Okay, thousands of seeds present in its fruit. Okay, present in its fruit. And very important thing is that there is another plant. Okay, another plant that you have to keep in mind, which I am this one parasitic, or there are two. Okay, parasitic plant or bearing seeds. Okay, parasitic seed plant which is bearing seeds, and those plants are called as orobanch. Okay, orobanch and striga. Orobanch and striga. These two also bear many seeds. Also bear many seeds. So, but these are what? Parasitic plants. Okay, these are parasitic. Okay, these are parasitic plants named as what? Orobanch and striga. Even these also bear many number of seeds. Many number of seeds. So there are many number of seeds present in these fruits of these parasitic plants, orobanch and striga. So here we are coming across first example, the ficus. Okay, and the second example we are saying it as parasitic plants, and their fruits will contain parasitic plants like orobanch and striga will contain many number of seeds. And the third one, okay, the third one is orchids. Okay, orchids. Even these, okay, fruits of these plants will also bear many number of seeds. Many number of seeds. And these three are very important for 1 mark questions. For 1 mark questions, like fruits which bear many number of seeds. One is ficus, the other one is the parasitic plants such as orobanch and striga, and orchids. These plants will bear many number of seeds within the fruit. Within the fruit. So all these we have to remember when we talk about the seeds. When we talk about the seeds. So after studying about the seed viability and the importance of the seeds, now we will see now what is the changes that have taken place after the post fertilization. So here I have written post fertilization changes. Post fertilization changes. It is talking about the ovule that has undergone the changes. It is the ovule and the ovary. The parts of the ovule and the ovary. What are the changes that are observed in these two parts, ovary and the ovule, we are going to look at now. So these are very important for your 1 mark question and also for objective part. These are very important. So please follow me carefully. So here, if you look at the first one, you already studied. Now as we are going through, you can answer by yourself. Now after the fertilization is completed, what happens to the ovary? Ovary will be changing into what now? It will be changing into fruit. It will be changing into what? Fruit. It will be changing into fruit. And now inside the ovary, what is there? You know, okay, we studied that here, this is the ovary we said. Okay, this is the ovary. Inside the ovary, what will be there? The ovule, isn't it? So if the ovary is changing into fruit here, okay, here this is what the ovary we are saying. So if ovary is changing into fruit, then what happens to the ovule after fertilization? Ovule is changing into what now? The seed. Okay, ovule is changing into seed. Ovary is changing into fruit and ovule is changing into seed. These are the end products after fertilization. After fertilization. And remember, these two simultaneously they will be taking place. They will be taking place simultaneously. Where once the fertilization occurs, as the seed is formed, obviously the ovary will be changing into fruit. The ovary will be changing into fruit. Now what happens to the ovary ball? This is the ovary ball. So what happens to this ovary ball? It will be changing as the pericarp. We call it as what? We will call it as pericarp. Otherwise we call it as what? Fruit ball. In simple we call it as what? Fruit ball. Okay, fruit ball. So ovary ball is after fertilization. It is no more called as ovary ball. We are calling it as what? Pericarp. Okay, fruit ball. That is the fruit ball. And you know the integuments. What are these integuments means? Of the ovule. Okay, of the ovule. We studied. Okay, if this is the diagram which we studied. Okay, repeatedly this diagram is coming for us. So if this is the ovule. Okay, these are the integuments. We call them as what? These are the integuments. The fourth one. Okay, integuments we are calling it as. But here you are seeing integuments, outer integument and also inner integument will be there. Outer integument and inner integument. These two. Now we should remember that the two integuments will be changing as what now? The seed coat. The seed coat. Okay, the seed coat. Outer integuments together they are changing as seed coat. But here outer integument is a seed coat which is called as testa. Which is called as testa. Outer seed coat. This can be called as what? Outer seed coat. Outer seed coat. And the next one is inner integument. This is inner seed coat of the seed. Inner integument, and we call it as tegmen. We call it as tegmen. Okay, we call it as tegmen. So the next one, okay, next one is what? Nucellus. Next one is nucellus. Nucellus, generally, what happens to this nucellus? It will degenerate. Okay, it will degenerate. Okay, it gets degenerated, disappears. But please remember, this is another very important thing when we are talking about the seventh one, that is nucellus, is that in some cases, okay, sometimes it persists. Okay, it persists. Okay, it remains there. It will be present. Okay, it persists. So when it is persisting, what we will be calling it as? The perisperm. Please remember, this is very, very important. Okay, in some seeds, okay, there will be the presence of what? Nucellus. So when there is nucellus present inside the seed, we are calling it as what? Perisperm. We have given some examples regarding this perisperm also, like the pepper. Okay, like the pepper, Piper nigrum, pepper, and also another second example is beet. Okay, in these two, we will be seeing that nucellus is present within the seed. That is called as what now? Perisperm. Okay, so in some cases it will be there, otherwise it will get degenerated. And now, what happens to this egg cell? What happens to this egg cell when it is fertilized? It is changing into zygote, and zygote develops into what now? It develops into embryo. Okay, it develops into embryo. Okay, develops into embryo. And whereas the synergids and antipodal cells that are there now in the ovule, in the embryo sac, these synergids and antipodal cells will also get what? Degenerated. Okay, degenerates. They also will get degenerated. They get degenerated. And now the hilum of the ovule. Okay, hilum of the ovule will be present as a small scar on the seed. It is present as scar on the seed. Okay, it is present as what? Scar on the seed. Okay, hilum of the ovule. Hilum means what? The point where the funicle will attach to the main body of the ovule. That is called as what? Hilum. So here, like, let us say if this is the, okay, if this is the ovule, okay, and this is the structure we are saying. So this part, okay, is called as what? Hilum. The point at which the funicle attaches to the main body of the ovule is called as hilum. So when the seed is formed, here at this point, okay, which is called as the hilum of the ovule, it will be remaining on the seed as what? Scar on the seed. It's just like a scar on the seed. That is nothing but hilum. And the funiculus of ovule, this is called as what? The funicle. Okay, the funicle. And this funicle will get broken apart. Okay, it gets broken. Okay, it gets broken apart. And the micropyle of the ovule, this micropyle of the ovule will be present as what? Micropyle of seed. Okay, it is present as what? Micropyle of seed. What is this micropyle of seed means? It is a small opening that will be present on the seed. That small opening is formed because of what? It is this region which we call it as what? Micropyle, the small opening. It is this through this opening only what entered inside? The male gamete through pollen tube. So this small opening is also present on the seed, which we are calling as micropyle of the seed, which is having an important function for the entry of what? Water and also oxygen during the germination of the seed. During the germination of the seed, oxygen and water will enter inside into the seed. It is through the micropyle of the seed, which is formed from what? Micropyle of the ovule. And the last one, if you are seeing chalaza of ovule. You know the chalaza line? That is this one. Okay, this region is called as what? Chalaza of the ovule, we are saying. Okay, chalaza of the ovule. So the same thing will be remaining as what now here? Chalaza of seed. seed. Chalaza of seed. So these are all okay changes that occurs after the post fertilization. So the title here it says that post fertilization changes. Post fertilization changes. What happens to different parts of the ovary and the ovule after the fertilization. So these are all which are very important. So thank you so much.